Where? Oh yeah, here I am. Good morning, guys. Good morning, guys. How are y'all doing? How are y'all doing? Hope everybody is well. There's some noise outside. Sure, if you guys do find it disturbing. If not, well, if you do find it, it disturbs you. Just well, bad luck for you, right? Anyways. So what is it you guys want to talk about today? Um, I was just looking at some charts. Um, Morning, Dave, Dabs, B, Oscar, and the rest, of course. Um, Interesting look on Bitcoin. Well, interesting is just like at first glance, this is 15 minutes lower time frame. So do, 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 do. Maybe about having a healthy balance, easy to trade with so many signals. Trades. Yeah, good. That's a good thing to talk about. Yeah, definitely. Let's do that first. I find that a nice topic. Yeah, yeah, because like it's when we talk about, of course, about trading in itself. If you do that for yourself, um, one of the pitfalls a lot of people fall into is over trading, which means you basically skip your plan and you don't follow your rules and you trade too much because you either feel too confident with having multiple wins. So having some win streaks might give you this confidence, say, okay, this can't go wrong. I'm in the zone. I'm going to keep trading and keep looking for new ones because you have that dopamine hit of that win, of course. Um, or because you take losses and then you want to like chase to get your money back. So to make those losses, well, to make those losses back. Um, so those are two things that might get you into over trading. Well, basically just what it says: over trading, too much trading. Um, but if we look in the Discord and the well, the number of traders we have nowadays that signal trades, um, it's also easy, like you say, it's also easy to, well, get caught in too much trades at one time because, well, um, we have Soul now, Relentless Soul, who's a scalp trader who puts out like multiple trades in a quick way, which I would say only follow those if you're on the charts and you can like fully be focused. And we have different traders doing signals. So if you want to follow all, um, well, that's no risk management, right? So what happens, I think, is you need to find a balance, and it doesn't change. Even though the fact we have more traders, for me, it doesn't change like the things I talked about before. That I think it's healthy to just pick one or two traders that you like and that you follow. And of course, sometimes one of the traders is less, how to say it, is less active, or maybe another one is more active. And that makes it kind of hard, right? If you want to, like, if you, let's say, for example, you follow Sherlock. And at the moment, Sherlock is like he said just now, he's at Singapore, so he's a bit busy with other stuff, and he's not putting out signals. And then Relentless Soul comes in, or LLC comes in, or Grassy, whatever, or me, um, and they put out signals. But basically, you said, okay, I'm just following Sherlock. Um, that makes it kind of hard, right? And especially like also if you follow Will's challenge, let's not forget about that. Um, and it's like maybe quiet over the weekend or whatever. Um, yeah, it takes discipline, of course. Takes discipline to just stick to, well, one or two traders, and at the same time, um, you can also do it differently. I would say. that you can just follow every trader or the traders that you like, but don't. What you need to take into account is your risk management. So personally, I never have more than three trades open at a time. Why? Because, well, I just want to take, I don't want to take too much risk at once. And I want to be able to follow trades. People come in here and say, "Yeah, I have this trade open and that trade open. Whose trade was that? I don't know. I forgot." Man, if you follow trades, you need to understand whose trade it is or where, what updates you should follow. Because if you're putting Sherlock's trades on and they think you're following Gracity, well, yeah, shit gets can go wrong or can go the wrong way quite quickly. So there's basically two ways I think. Either stick to one or two traders that you follow and try to follow completely, like on every trade, or follow every trader, but cap your trades at a certain amount. So let's say um, if you risking, well, you should risk 1R on a trade, maybe 1%. That's your 1R. And never have more than three trades open at a time. A 3% loss you can still recoup easily. But the more you get, let's say if you follow all signals and at some point we have like 10 signals going, it's just hard to follow. It's well, yeah, it's it just wouldn't be my advice. So try to keep that balance. And I know we have good traders, but understand also, like I always talk about, that you take losses too. So even if a trader has a good strategy, it's not always right. Nobody is always right. And we are all sometimes wrong and take losses as a trader. So with strategy. So yeah, it's definitely a thing to well, just stick to make rules for yourself. Like saying, okay, I only put a max of three trades on at a time. Don't get greedy. Um, just stick to what you do, and that'll teach you discipline. That'll train you for when the time comes that you're, for example, trading for yourself. Like if I'm in a trade and there's like an opportunity I see, um, but well, all my slots are filled. I won't take it. I'll just paper trade it and see if it works out. So try to do that. Um, so yeah, basically that's the advice I can give. Uh, don't try to follow every trader or every signal that gets put out. Practice missing ones. So if you're too late, no need to rush and to try to enter um, because especially like if it comes to soul or something like that, if it's a scalp trade, no need to talk to yourself and say to yourself, yeah, but we have like maybe multiple trades a day, and sometimes there will be days that there's no trade, but usually there's trades every day. So just wait for the next one. We call it like call it quits for that day or for that trade, and well, see the next one. And of course, I know there's people who say, yeah, but I always pick the wrong ones. Um, yeah, that's just bad luck, right? And I don't believe, well, I'm sort of certain in a longer time frame period of time, you will take more wins than losses. So if you have your risk management in check, there's no way in a long run that you can lose if you follow signals in here. But it doesn't mean that there will be weeks that you pick the wrong ones. It happens, and that's why you need to have your risk in check, and you have to preserve your capital over making money. So yeah, that's why it's always risk first. Preserve capital, and I think follow Soul, relentless Soul for well understanding, especially when he trades on lower time frames. And he does these scalp sessions, so go on there because he will show you how, as a real trader, you need to cut losses quickly. If you're wrong, you're wrong, you're out. Um, how to flip bias in like a short period of time, especially if you trade on low time. So, um, um, not cutting trades too early sometimes is tempting to take profits too. Yeah, but that's what you do if you follow traders. Yeah, in my opinion, stick to what they signal. And I do believe that Sol, for example, signals like he said yesterday, this is a scalp, this is the TP, but please take profits when you're happy. Do that, but always understand how much R you take. So take profits when you're happy, but try. And on scalps, it doesn't matter. You can trade. You can take like half an hour profits because you trade a lot. Um, but yeah, it's tempting. It's tempting. But I would say regarding TPs, just follow what the trader does. Um, Honestly, I think that's the only way. Um, is it wise to take a long-term trade on say Ether with a high TP and low stop loss? Um, no, then I would just if you want that for a long-term trade, I would just buy in spot. Um, because you can do low leverage or cross leverage long, um, and then some people will do that, but then honestly, I would rather buy a bigger amount if possible, of course, on spot rather than doing a low leverage long um, for a longer time. Because if you trade futures in a swing trade, you will always pay fees. It will cost you money, especially in when the market is up only. Or, um, but I'm not saying it's wise. But then you're sort of spot trading, in my opinion. Just a quick one from Dabs. After all the dips, do you think that we're nearly there at the start of the bull run? I'm not going to answer that question. I have PTSD. Um, it does feel good right now. Feels bullish. Feels strength in the market. It feels like macroeconomics, things are lining up. But, but, we had that feeling also in 2024, right? And we all know what happened after that. So it's kind of hard to say um, um, where we are in regards to that, but cycle wise, we should be there, right? Um, but I'm just not confident enough until Bitcoin breaks a new all-time high to say that it will pop off. And you see here and there, you see coins fly, but honestly, I don't believe it's the moment yet to be excited. And I think that is what you will hear from me is we can get excited once we realize profits. The biggest downfall for people, especially after enduring such a long time right now from down only and emotions going everywhere and holding strong, is that with the smallest sign of green, and I see it happening in the Discord, with the smallest sign of green, people get like overreact. They overreact because it's been such a long time. But if you look at the bigger picture, well, we're nowhere near levels that we should be to get excited at. And I know that's kind of, well, maybe I am the party pooper or whatever, but it is, I think, the main reason if you want to succeed in this game, the main thing to do is not get overly excited. As a trader, for example, you should be as excited over your wins as you should be excited over your losses. Meaning that the reaction you have to your losses, the emotional reaction you have to your losses, is the same level of emotional reaction you will have to your wins. So if you feel down and you feel sick to your stomach, if you feel angry and frustrated that you're down or that you lost a trade, you will feel the opposite in the same level of intensity when you take wins. And that's not good, guys. So you need to be emotionless. You need to be basically you need to be a robot, but you can be emotionless because without emotions, because we're human and we're wired to have emotions. So you can never how do you say it, cut them out completely. You will always have emotions. The question is, how do you react to your emotions? How are you aware of those emotions? And how do these emotions impact the actions that you take? Uh, and those are kind of really interesting things to ask yourselves. Okay, what happens? What emotions did I went through in this whole downfall of these coins, and how did I feel, and how did I how did it felt how did it feel watching how did it feel watching my portfolio being 80% down, and being aware of that. If it's 80% up, you will feel the same in the opposite way, um, which will also impact your actions. So long story short, be aware of your emotions. You can't shut them down completely, so they will be there. So the only thing you need to do is be aware of them. And once you're aware of what your emotions are, it becomes easier to focus on the actual process, on the actual plan, on the actual practical side of taking profits when time comes. So that is in regards to, well, where we are in this bull run. Um, but yeah, it's been definitely brutal depths, and it's all a learning curve. And if it doesn't pop off, well, we still have that learning curve, right? So yeah, um, I'm not gonna lie. It's been hard. It's been tough. Uh, a lot of seasoned crypto traders who have been in this game for I don't know how long well have given up or taken losses, or letting their emotions get to them. So it's definitely well, it won't again, and that's I think facts. It will never be easy, and it won't be easy. Also, if we get to the point that we have that run up and up altcoin season up only, um, everybody still is going to struggle. If CB puts out, I've sold this in my portfolio. Um, you might be at a point that you look at your portfolio and think, okay, God damn it, I'm not willing to sell yet. The question then is, are you not willing to sell because greed has taken over, and that you have these ideas of that everything can go up a lot, or are you not happy with the profits yet, or is it not close to your goal? So I think what everybody needs to do is have look at their invested amount of money, and then ask yourself, truly ask yourself, like honestly ask yourself, okay, what will the amount of money be that I'm happy with to end this bull run with? Disregarding the fact that we've been here so long, disregarding the fact that it's been relentless, disregarding the fact that maybe a year ago you could look at your portfolio and say, okay, yeah, turning 10K into 100K would be easy. But that 10K is now maybe 1 or 2K, and well, 100K from here would be maybe a dream. So ask yourself, okay, what is the kind of money that I want to end the bull run with, so that my foundation for going forward is good. And never have the idea, unless you have 6 figures invested, never have the idea that one bull run is generational wealth. Of course, those stories are there, but you also got to be factual about it. And like the facts are that 80 to 90% of people that come into crypto walk away with a loss or walk away with nothing, wrecked. And from that small percentage that does make it in crypto, I mean, make it is not the right word. The percentage that ends the bull run with profits, of that small percentage, there's only an even smaller percentage that walks away with generational wealth. And there's only a tiny percentage of those people that invested $100 into a shit coin and then walked away with 6 figures. But those are the stories that you hear. That is also the stories that will make people come back into this market, but that is not the reality. That's like
going to the casino and winning the jackpot. Of course, you hear about that person that put in $5 into a slot and then won 1.6 million. But that $5 is not the only gamble she might have taken or he might have taken. It can be, well, like 10K, and then still doesn't matter because if you gamble away 10K and then you win 1.6 um, million, yeah, guys, that's luck, right? And that's the same with shitcoins. So that's just the gambling casino. And yeah, exactly. Um, so you gotta understand. You gotta understand that. That's why I'm here. That's why we are here in this Discord. That's why you have everything at your disposal to absolutely make it when shit pops off. Make use of that. Get into these talks, ask your questions, speak your thoughts and your doubts. And, we have to talk about this because if you disregard this part of trading, if you disregard this part of your crypto portfolio, there's no way you're going to end this bull run and the next couple of bull runs with um, with profit. And that might sound harsh or something like that, but it is what it is. Again, speaking of facts, again, 80 to 90% of people don't ever realize profits in a bull market. Maybe it's even more than 90%, especially when the masses start flooding in again. Um, so position yourself well, and you should be positioned well if you're in here. Um, and yeah, just try to, well, in the course I'm talking about visualization and mental rehearsing, the exit. So you need to have this clear picture of how it's going to be like. If you train yourself daily of that moment when everything is going crazy and you're looking at a portfolio that is the amount that you wish you would have with the amount you have invested, start visualizing that. Because if you do that daily, even it's a couple of minutes, if you do that daily, you will eventually, um, your mind doesn't distinguish real and um, these rehearsals that are mentally, because it has the same effect on your body. So when you get to that point and the more detailed you rehearse it in your mind, um, the the more it feels like you've already been there, and all these emotions and all these feelings that gets put around. Well, just take NPCS's channel as the training ground for euphoria when NPCS got out. So all these kind of things, they will help you like sort of train for when it really happens. And when it really happens, I don't know when. um, but it's not. It's, in my opinion, it's not if. In my opinion, it's a when. But when the when is, well, we just have to. We just don't know yet. We just don't know yet. Yeah, there will be, and I think we cannot say honestly, and I think that's also how CB looks at it. We cannot. Well, we can only give you a heads up, and the only thing that CB will do is telling you guys, okay, I'm selling here at this part, but you also got to take into account that he's, well, invested a bigger amount of money, so he doesn't need like the 50x or the 100x. But at the same time, we are here to guide you. Um, but again, you got to understand that we can only say what we do. We can only say what we see on the charts. We can only say, okay, this is a good area to take something out. This is a good area to scale out. But we can never push that sell button for you guys. Yeah, absolutely. That's it, Ian. We are here to make it, and we'll make it together because that will even feel, well, that will even feel better, right? So yeah, lots of things to talk about. So we just shall we just do a quick, quick scan of the charts, see if there's any interesting for the day. The time frame. Still, I scribbled this the other day, so that's we could definitely see a pullback to previous month high. Down here would be like, yeah, could still be possible. It's a 4 hour fair value gap. But honestly, I want to see strength, keep strength. Algo, we're in that right now. It's needs to break above this for continuation. 2020 47. It's these lows here. Um, Honestly, what I want to see on algo, the trade room right now is a break above the 50 and the no, this is 204 hours and this trend line, daily trend line. So I want to see a break above here. If we get this break, I'll move stops to break even and cancel the lower limit. What I don't want to see is a reaction here to the downside, so a rejection, because then there's a possibility, TA wise, that we will move down to this lower trend line. Um, could say, yeah, okay, then our lower gets filled, but if it takes out these lows, well, that will feel shitty because that's like a big move from here. I think that would be 11% down. Definitely slow and steady and don't be greedy. So we'll leave this running for now. We're in with half risk. Like I said, rejection at this moment. I'm looking for a 4 hour close. First 4 hour close is above this one. I was looking, I think, at the lower time frame. Um, as you can see, a trend line forming here. And if you would know Sherlock and he talks about trend lines will at some point always be broken. It's a low, but I do believe this could be an interesting area disregarding this trend line. It's 50 EMA previous day high. Uh, so I might look to scalp this one if we get here, but for now, short term, we'll have to hold this trend line and break above this high. But that's just like we're in a swing trade. Um, so yeah, it could take a while. Um, Although sometimes, well, markets can move fast, right? As you've seen here, we had this big drop the other day, last week, I think it was, last of September. What was this drop? It was just like a 14% drop. Will you be able to take that, guys, if we do get a big pullback like that? I do think um, either is strong here. I'm still in this long. It was Will. I think Will put me on this. Like sometimes you're just lucky you didn't get shaken out, as you can see here. Like it stopped me out. Like well, on $4. It didn't stop me out on $4. No. Same here. We want to see either on the higher time frame break above this here, um, heading to previous week high. And as you can see, and that's what says something about the strength of Bitcoin compared to the rest. Bitcoin swept this no, got above previous month high, as you can see here, while Ether is still lagging, as previous month high on Ether is still way up. It's 48, almost 4800. So altcoins are still lagging, which means, in my opinion, I think if we get a pullback from Bitcoin, which wouldn't be weird, if we do get a pullback, that alts also will get a big pullback and bleed harder. Um, That's true. That's true, Dabs. Gotta trust the process. Gotta trust the process. And again, I can say for sure um, when it's pops off. But if you follow me and you know the way I trade with the EMAs, um, you'll see that most of the coins, right? There are some weaker coins. This one is still below its 200 DMA. Algo is also still below its 200 DMA. So you want to see that break above. But a lot of coins are trading back above the 200 and 50 EMAs and the 12 1 day 12 EMA. and some are stronger than others. As you can see, APT broke this high, so that is stronger than others. So while ARP is well, not really showing strength. Aster is like, yeah, basically still a shit coin. Some people like to trade it right now. Um, so yeah, it's a kind of middle ground still. Um, I do believe we just need a bigger run up. I do what I see, like let's see here. This is Doge. There's a trend line here which has been broken. One, two, three candles. This one, yes, exactly. So as you can see here, I like this. I'm going to watch this. Put this on the watch list. As you can see here, what happened is we have a trend line. The trend line broke, and now it's left a fair value gap just above the trend line here. So if we do get a pullback, um, we might get this area here, which is the 1 day EMA, 1 day 12 EMA, and the 4 hour. This is, yeah, the 4 hour 250. And let's see how the 1 hour looks. And the 1 hour also is at that level. So honestly, definitely looking at if we do get that pullback, if we do, not saying we do get, um, but yeah, this is an area of interesting. So I'm putting that on the watch list. And for the rest, I'm just leaving things to be. Um, might look on lower time frames this afternoon. I signal whenever I feel see something. So all right, guys, I'm going to call it quits for today on this session. Thanks again for being in here. Um, Good to see you, Mo, in here. Um, I like Mo. People come in here, start trading, and then just, well, fully focused and well, uh, how do you say, locked in, locked in. That's the right. Thank you guys too. Have a great day. We'll talk again tomorrow morning. And well, if not, we'll talk again over the weekend. Anyways, see you guys again soon. Ciao, ciao. Bye bye.